Welcome back to Trending News United States. In this episode, I'm going to share with you top 10 trending business news. Number 1. US sees highest number of new coronavirus cases in nearly 2 months. The US reported more than 57,000 new coronavirus cases on Friday, the highest daily total since mid-August. According to data compiled by Johns Hopkins University, new cases are rising in 33 states across the South, East, and Midwest. On Thursday, White House coronavirus advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci said he's not comfortable with the level of US coronavirus cases, noting that it could become more difficult to deal with the virus as people increasingly move indoors during the colder months. More than 7.6 million people in the US have contracted coronavirus during the pandemic, according to Hopkins data. The virus has now killed more than 213,000 people in the US. Number 2. Kevin O'Leary on stimulus. We don't need the $1,200 checks. Here's what would help more. More than 26 million Americans are currently collecting unemployment benefits. According to the Labor Department, of those, over 13 million are relying on pandemic-related programs for benefits as they would not normally be eligible. But further stimulus package negotiations remain at a standstill, even as experts urge Congress to take action. More waiting could lead to a weak recovery, creating unnecessary hardship for households and businesses. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said on Tuesday that's why unemployment benefits should be at the center of the next stimulus package. I would like to see a $400 a week support for the next 14 months for anybody that's unemployment. O'Leary says if you are unemployed, we will support you with a few $100s a week until you can find a job. O'Leary would support $400 enhancement over the $600 previously provided under the Coronavirus Aid, Relief and Economic Security or CARES Act, which expired in July. I would rather people have an incentive to work if they can find it, but I don't want them to be in a great painful space. O'Leary says we do not need the $1,200 check to everybody anymore because a lot of those people have now found work again. However, that isn't necessarily true. Each week, about 1 million Americans continue to file for unemployment benefits, and all the first-time unemployment benefit claims hit 840,000 last week, the lowest level since the virus-induced shutdown in mid-March. That number is still worse than expected. Michael Evermore, senior researcher and policy analyst for social insurance at the National Employment Law Project, agrees that a weekly $400 unemployment boost for 14 months would be helpful for those who need it most. The great thing about unemployment is that it's targeted to people who have lost income and who need to replace that income to maintain consumption, she tells CNBC Make It. The $400 unemployment boost is less than $600, but if you could get a commitment to keep it in place for 14 months, that gives people a really ability to plan. Evermore says given that the average unemployment benefit last year was around $370, I think $400 would be much better stimulus than a $1,200 check or money that goes to everyone. Other experts agree that continued enhanced unemployment benefits are crucial for economic recovery. There are still something like 11 million people who have not gotten their jobs back and in turn need support, Powell said during his Senate testimony on 21st September. Those people are able to spend now because of the checks that they got and because of the enhanced unemployment insurance that they got, Powell said. There is downside risk probably coming if some form of the support doesn't continue. Number 3. Microsoft will let employees work from home half the time. Microsoft employees were told this week that they will be able to work remotely less than 50% of the work week once it's safe to return to offices. Employee can work from home full-time with manager approval. They can also move to a new location for remote work with salaries adjusted based on geography if their manager approves. Number 4. Skype is still around. It's just been upstaged by Microsoft Teams. LinkedIn skipped Skype when it built a new voice calling capability for its direct message feature. instead opting to use Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and BlueJeans despite being younger than Skype and only public since 2019. Zoom became the video calling hero of the pandemic, although Microsoft's more business-focused Teams has grown too. Microsoft has taken to making it easy for people to start Skype meetings from Windows 10 and its Edge browser. Now number 5. Amazon Prime Day helps entrepreneurs build million-dollar businesses. Amazon Prime Day on 13th October and 14th October will offer thousands of small businesses opportunities to quickly scale customer awareness and revenue. Currently more than 5 lakh small and medium-sized businesses in the US, Amazon. And the company's goal is to onboard an additional 1 lakh vendors as new sellers to its store. The online event has helped companies like Verbal and that makes a dog camera clinch strategic partnerships and make millions of dollars in online sales. Number 6. Utility tells state equipment might have caused deadly fire. Fire investigators looking into what caused a wildfire that killed 4 people in far northern California have taken possession of equipment belonging to Pacific Gas and Electric. Then filed on 27 September 2020 and in the file photo of house burns on Platina Road at the Zoo Fire near Ono, California's largest utility company said its equipment might have caused a fatal wildfire. Last month in a country in the northern part of the state. Now number 7. White House virus aid offer is banned by Pelosi Senate GOP. A new White House coronavirus aid has gotten bad reviews from both ends of the political spectrum. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi questions President Donald Trump's fitness to serve following his hospitalization for COVID-19 during a news conference at the Capitol in Washington Friday, 9th October 2020. Questions President Donald Trump's fitness to serve following his hospitalization for COVID-19 during a news conference at the Capitol in Washington on 9th October Friday 2020, Pelosi wants legislation that would create a commission to allow Congress to intervene under the 25th Amendment to the Constitution and remove the president from executive duties. Pelosi said she is still hopeful that progress can be made toward a deal, but it's as clear as ever that GOP conservatives don't want a deal on her terms. COVID relief negotiations are moving along. Go big, Trump said Friday on Twitter. The new offer totals about $1.8 trillion aids family with its aid with the key state and local fiscal relief component moving from $250 billion to at least $300 billion. The White House says its most recent offer before that was about $1.6 trillion. Pelosi said this proposal amounted to one step forward, 2 steps back. When the president talks about wanting a bigger relief package, his proposal appears to mean that he wants more money at his discretion to grant or withhold. Number 8. Tobacco Commission grants can leave communities on the hook. Virginia's watchdog agency has found that the executive director of a state economic development commission bent the rules when he forgave a figure grant that should have been repaid by a politically connected developer. The building was expected to house a proposed biofuels business that got public economic development money. The project application, Biofuels, never materialized, and part of the developer's grant that was supposed to be repaid was instead forgiven. Since the inception of the program, the commission has sought to recoup about $22.9 million through the places it makes to help, with about $1.6 million currently outstanding from 14 localities records provided to AP in September show. The commission does not track how much of that money was effectively repaid by the developers or the locality, likely with taxpayer money. Since our primary focus is supporting and growing the economies of the localities we serve, we work with them on a repayment plan when necessary and try to be as flexible as possible so that we don't impact of in tight local budgets, Commission spokesman Jordan Butler said. Number 9. Sustainability investors' safety focus to social issues. The pandemic and protests over racial issues have altered the way investors, employees, and the public view the role of companies. At General Motors plant in Warren, Mich began producing face masks in response to the coronavirus pandemic. Now number 10. US sanction turn up hit but Huawei serving European 5G clients. Since the US sanctions restrictions last year, US manufacturers of semiconductors are no longer allowed to supply us, so our previous US partners can no longer work with the US. Since August, this has become even more difficult. Abraham Lee, Huawei's vice president for Europe, told the Courier paper he said Washington was blackmailing chip makers into shunning ties with Huawei, which denies US allegations that Huawei equipment could be used by Beijing for spying. Nevertheless, we are confident that we can continue to serve our European customers in the 5G sector because of many preparations and upfront investment with the most advanced technology, Liu was quoted as saying without elaborating. As for private customers, cell phone owners, we see great difficulties. There are 90 million European Huawei users. Google is no longer allowed to work with Huawei, so Google will no longer publish updates for Huawei smartphones with the Android operating system, he said. We are still looking for a solution. Amid US pressure to exclude the Chinese firm from supplying key telecoms equipment, Orange, Orange.pe, and Proximus, Prox.pe. Last week picked Nokia.he to help build 5G networks in Belgium. European members have been stepping up scrutiny of so-called high-risk vendors. This subjects Huawei's governance and technology to critical examination and is likely to lead other European operators to strip it from their networks, analysts say. That's it. If you like this news and want more and stay updated, then subscribe to Ending News United States and hit the like button if you like it and leave a comment if you feel so. Stay safe and happy, spread love and positivity.